Individuals behave as though working hard is a guaranteed recipe for achievement, as if it's the single reliable method to reach the top. I'm not suggesting that hard work lacks importance, because it certainly holds value. Effort by itself can advance your position, establish your credibility, and boost your self-assurance. However, here's the crucial point you must understand: working hard by itself will never promise you success. Dedication alone will never serve as the magic key you might have been convinced it represents. Why is this the case? The reason is that although hard work has merit, achieving genuine success requires more than just effort. Consider how many individuals are laboring intensively each day, yet they're not experiencing remarkable success. Reflect on this reality. They invest the time, they contribute the energy, they're hustling, but they're not ascending to those peaks of accomplishment that true success requires. It's crucial to understand that hard work represents merely one piece of the equation. If working hard was the complete solution, then every laborer, every custodian, every individual toiling in agriculture or manufacturing would be wealthy beyond measure. That's simply not reality, is it? So what's missing then? What additional elements do we require if effort alone won't deliver us to our destination? This is our discussion topic today. Success doesn't emerge from exertion by itself. It's about ensuring your hard work guides you toward a destination, that it's synchronized with clear purpose, with understanding, with relationships, with chances, and with a mentality prepared to manage the success you're pursuing. The initial essential element that transcends hard work is purpose. Imagine you're in a boat, rowing with maximum intensity, investing every bit of energy you possess. However, if you're rowing aimlessly or moving away from your target, what is that hard work accomplishing? It's squandering energy. This describes countless people's experiences. They possess the drive and determination to work hard, but they haven't invested time in determining their destination. They haven't established their target. Success begins with clear purpose, and you might wonder how to discover that purpose. Sometimes individuals believe they must have everything planned before beginning their work, but that's not my message. Discovering purpose involves achieving clarity, establishing definite objectives, and selecting a destination. You begin by comprehending what you desire from life, not in general terms but with specificity. Here's an important question: what does success mean to you personally? Without this clarity, hard work can resemble running on exercise equipment. Lots of activity and perspiration, but no movement toward your desired location. During my youth, when I was ambitious but lacking wisdom, Mr. Chaff shared something unforgettable with me. He explained that without knowing your destination, you'll likely arrive somewhere unplanned. This struck me powerfully because I was working diligently and investing hours, but lacked clear direction. Without purpose, you'll end up anywhere. Hard work requires an objective to pursue, and that objective represents your mission, your destination. When discussing purpose, it encompasses more than just employment or job titles. It concerns what satisfies you, what you wish to contribute, and what you aim to accomplish. Once you've secured this understanding, your hard work becomes intentional, concentrated, and strategic. Hard work alone resembles a car without steering. It's powerful but lacks direction. That's not the only requirement we need. We also require understanding, another fundamental component that enhances our hard work's value. While you may be working intensively, if you lack expertise in your activities, if you don't pursue gaining insight and abilities, your work will have restricted influence. Understanding functions as a multiplier for hard work. It amplifies and refines your efforts, extending them beyond what raw labor could ever achieve. Consider two individuals working equally hard daily, but one has invested time studying their field, mastering the techniques, developing capabilities. Their hard work holds greater value because they've added understanding on top. Think of it this way: you could spend all day hammering nails, or you could learn construction. It's not about labor, it's about learning to apply that labor efficiently. I once spoke with a young man after one of my presentations who expressed frustration. He said he'd been working extremely hard but wasn't seeing progress or achieving desired results. So I questioned him about how much time he'd spent learning, developing himself, expanding his knowledge. He appeared somewhat puzzled because in his mind, he was doing everything necessary, But hard work without added knowledge will restrict your growth and success potential. You cannot depend solely on hard work. You must continue investing in yourself, learning effectiveness in your activities. The more knowledge you possess, the further your hard work will advance you. Understanding enables you to recognize opportunities where others perceive obstacles. It unlocks doors that remain closed to the unprepared. It connects you with people who can elevate you. Individuals who recognize and value skill and comprehension. Hard work combined with understanding becomes significantly more powerful, targeted, and likely to produce results. It's not about working harder, but about working more intelligently. If you believe education costs too much, try ignorance, because ignorance sometimes costs you dearly. Ignorance means lost opportunities, poor choices, and wasted energy. Understanding, conversely, is the fuel that drives your hard work forward. It makes every invested hour count for more, transforming labor into expertise, struggle into strategy. Those who are strategic in their hard work discover success in ways others don't. Here's another vital element that goes beyond simple hard work: flexibility. Life is unpredictable, filled with twists, turns, obstacles, and surprises. The capacity to adapt, to maintain flexibility in your approach, is equally important as working hard. When things don't proceed as planned, if you cannot adjust, all the hard work in the world won't deliver you to your destination. We've all encountered someone resistant to change. Perhaps you've been that person at some point. You establish a routine, find a comfortable method, but success doesn't reward stubbornness. It rewards flexibility. You might be working incredibly hard at something that no longer benefits you or aligns with the changing environment. If you're unwilling to adapt, it's like navigating with an outdated map. The landscape changes, the route shifts, and if you're not prepared to adjust, you're in difficulty. I recall early in my career when I was working hard, doing what seemed right, following a previously successful strategy. But circumstances began changing: the market, client needs, even our tools. Initially, I resisted, believing that working slightly harder and pushing more would restore everything to its former state. But life doesn't function that way. It progresses regardless of our preferences. I faced a choice: adapt or remain stuck. Once I embraced change and adjusted my approach, I found myself on a path to new success levels I wouldn't have reached by stubbornly clinging to past methods. Flexibility requires awareness, a willingness to examine reality and make necessary adjustments. Here's the secret: people who adapt see opportunity where others see catastrophe. They see chances to learn, grow, and continue progressing. Instead of fearing change, they welcome it, and because they do, they receive rewards. Hard work must evolve with changing times. We cannot rely on yesterday's solutions for tomorrow's challenges. Flexibility isn't only about changing strategies, it's about changing your mindset too. A rigid mindset, thinking things should be certain ways, often leads to frustration and ultimately burnout. When you're inflexible, you become exhausted fighting reality, struggling against circumstances that could offer new directions and ideas. But if you approach challenges with an open mindset, ready to see new possibilities, your hard work transforms from mere labor into progress, into movement. It becomes growth. Consider ancient farmers. They knew they couldn't control weather but could adapt to it. They could observe patterns, adjust planting and harvesting schedules, even change crops when necessary. That adaptability distinguished between thriving and struggling. It's identical for us today in any field or pursuit. We must be willing to adapt, adjust, and release methods that no longer work. Hard work rooted in flexibility will bear fruit over time. Relationships represent another success key that hard work alone cannot replace. Success isn't achieved in isolation. It's not a solo performance. Even the most brilliant minds and hardest workers need connections, partnerships, and mentors. Relationships provide opportunities we cannot create independently. They unlock doors that hard work alone won't open. People often say, it's not what you know, but who you know, but I extend this further. It's who you know that's willing to assist you. I remember my own mentors, the individuals who guided me, offered advice, and invested in me. Without them, my hard work wouldn't have taken me half as far. Those relationships taught me the value of shared wisdom, of learning from others who had traveled the path before me. There's no substitute for the support, insight, and encouragement of people who genuinely want to see you succeed. They help you avoid mistakes, share opportunities, and push you to grow in ways you couldn't accomplish alone. Building strong relationships requires time, respect, and willingness to give before receiving. You don't just appear when you need something, you invest in people, support them, and show up for them too. When you do this, you create a trust foundation so when you need guidance, an introduction, or encouragement, you have people supporting you. Relationships built on integrity and mutual respect amplify your efforts and make the journey more rewarding. All these components are vital if you want to transform your hard work into genuine success. Hard work by itself can only advance you so far, but when combined with these elements, it can elevate you to heights you never imagined. Each of these elements, purpose, understanding, flexibility, and relationships, must be nurtured and developed with as much effort as the hard work itself. Success isn't merely a product of labor, it's the product of a balanced, thoughtful, and wise approach. Here's what connects all these pieces: your mindset. Your mindset is like soil from which all other success aspects grow. It's the lens through which you view your purpose, understanding, flexibility, and relationships. Without the proper mindset, even the hardest work will feel like an uphill struggle. But with the right mindset, every ounce of effort becomes a meaningful step forward. The foundation of a powerful mindset is belief. Belief in yourself, your goals, and your capacity to grow, change, and succeed. But belief isn't just positive thinking or wishful thinking. It's not telling yourself, "I can do this," while feeling doubtful underneath. Belief is a product of preparation, of establishing groundwork so when challenges arise, you know you can handle them. Think of it as earned confidence. When you've invested the work, gained knowledge, built relationships, and adapted over time, you develop true, unshakable belief. That belief will carry you through the most difficult times. In my life, I learned that nothing undermines hard work more than a defeated mindset. A negative, scarcity-driven mindset drains energy, creates doubt, and places obstacles where there could be opportunity. I remember in my early sales days, there were times I'd hit walls, weeks where nothing seemed to work, but I had to teach myself that these were temporary conditions, not permanent realities. I had to shift from a frustration mindset to a resilience mindset. That's key. If you approach every setback as a learning opportunity, every challenge as a stepping stone, you won't just work harder, you'll work wiser. A growth mindset is essential because it allows you to see hard work as part of the journey, not the end goal. It lets you view setbacks as learning experiences, as character and endurance tests. The more you view each obstacle as a growth opportunity, the stronger you become. That's why success is so much about who you become, not just what you achieve. It's about developing resilience that can handle rejection, weather criticism, and push through failure. Because I'll tell you this, failure will come, disappointment will happen. But if you've built a mindset rooted in growth and belief, you'll keep going. With the right mindset, your hard work isn't just labor, it's growth. You're not just moving toward a goal, you're evolving. This mindset makes you resilient, adaptable, and focused. When you believe in yourself and are grateful for opportunities and relationships in your life, every ounce of hard work has meaning. It becomes fulfilling in itself, and when you're fulfilled by the work and process, you're already successful regardless of the outcome. But there's another mindset aspect we cannot forget: discipline. Discipline is the ability to follow through on commitments, to do the work even when it's difficult, even when it's not exciting, even when nobody's watching. Discipline separates dreamers from achievers because, let's be honest, anyone can set a goal, anyone can get inspired. But not everyone can sustain that inspiration through daily grind, through days when motivation is low. Discipline means sticking with your vision, putting in effort consistently even when progress feels slow. I always tell people motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. Discipline allows you to build momentum, and momentum is powerful. Once you have momentum on your side, every bit of effort compounds. What once felt hard starts feeling natural, and you build a rhythm that propels you forward. But discipline doesn't happen accidentally. It's something you cultivate and build. It's rooted in small decisions you make daily. It's about holding yourself accountable not for big moments, but for small, seemingly insignificant ones. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out, and that requires discipline. When you combine all these ingredients, you're no longer just working hard. You're working towards something greater. You're building a success foundation that's resilient, sustainable, and fulfilling. Because it's not just about achieving the goal, it's about who you become on the journey to achieving it. The process shapes you, strengthens you, and prepares you for everything that comes next. With all this in mind, think about hard work's role now. Hard work alone is like a single ingredient in a recipe. It doesn't create the final dish by itself. Hard work is valuable, but only when combined with all these other things. When you work hard in alignment with these factors, you're not just grinding away, you're building something that will last. You're crafting a life of purpose, contribution, and genuine achievement. And that is why hard work alone won't make you successful. Your success is a multi-dimensional journey requiring every part of you, not just your effort, but your wisdom, your flexibility, your connections, and your inner growth. It's about becoming the kind of person who attracts success, not just the person who chases it down. And that transformation, that evolution is what true success is all about.